Kids.
No, but they refer to electricity mini substation.
Yes, I didn't you. I was reading the record pen. That's why I get it. Yeah, you see the doctor there. There's evidence about a gas station or a garage. Anyway, for this two people went to a garage or a gas station, etc., etc.
Yes,
You don't remember that evidence?
it is here, man. It's not evidence. It is the description by Makaleni.
Yeah. Okay, fine. You heard me. I recall that.
But they reminded they are still under oath, Brigadier.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, my lord.
Thanks. Yes, Mr. Ramsey.
Now, Brigadier, you're saying that you confront accused. Sorry.
Speak to them. Can you speak to them? Sure. No, sorry, my lord. I just asked actually if you can just ask them to lower this thing. He says they say they can't.
Yeah, they say it's centrally operated. I don't know.
Yeah, but today.
You want them to switch it off or what?
Today,
Maybe
from
just-
last night, but even physically myself, I'm suffering because I'm directly under this vent.
Okay.
He's pushing.
Yeah, if you can lower it or I don't know.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So, Brigadier, you said on the 18th of June 2020, you then confront accused number 2 with the ID kit that we have spoken about. And in response thereto, say to him, this person bears your resemblance. He says to you, this is a case of mistaken identity. I've got nothing to do with the offense that occurred. Is that the answer that you gave, you got from him?
Not verbatim, but the essence of it, he was saying it's not him, my lord. That was the essence of the response.
Manje ke Brigadier nge-18 kaJune 2020 ukhuluma naye ke umsolo wesibili uthi kuyena ke lo muntu lana ke uyafana ke nawe uthi ke yena ke cha akusiyena wenziwe iphutha akanalutho lokwenza nesigameko hayi ngalawo magama kodwa nje wathi yena cha akusiyena lo.
Now, just to clarify the point that I think Advocate Baloyi objected on, and that I said to the court that I understand that if I elicit a statement of a witness myself that he authored and commissioned, it is acceptable. But the difference I was trying to make at the time was that the description of suspect B, what warrant officer Steenkamp says he got that description from, it's from Makaleni. So I'm not actually reading Makaleni's statement. I'm reading the description as provided to warrant officer Steenkamp. So it's a separate issue from the A90 something that was deposed to by Makaleni.
Yes, it is separate, my lord, but you can't deal with warrant officer Steenkamp's statement in isolation of the people she was interviewing.
Yes.
Because she tells you, she basically interviewed everyone who was in the house, and she's telling you what they are saying, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke noma ke ngiyakuzwa ke uma uthi ke ufunda lokho kwabhalwa uyena uSteenkamp ekutshela uyena ke uMakeleni kodwa ke awukwazi usifunda sisodwa ke statement sakhe uSteenkamp ngoba ke usho ke lokho athi wakutshelwa ke abantu futhi nama interview nalabantu ababesendlini.
Except of course that Makaleni was not present in the house on the 26th of October 2014.
Yes, he wasn't, my lord, but his statement is very clear, even on that interview, that he saw the person he was describing at the gas station outside at the mini power station, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi uMakeleni yebo wayengekho ke phakathi endlini kodwa uyakusho ke lokho ukuthi ke lo muntu ke ayemkhaza ke wambona ke ngaphandle ke kule ndawo ke yawo ke ugesi engaphandle endlini.
And I'm going to go back to Exhibit J, page 5 there of and specifically deal with that aspect of the witness, the fifth witness that was interviewed by Ms. Steenkamp during the compilation of the identity kit. And I'm going to read again. It says, the fifth witness, Mr. T. Makaleni, residing at Mzamo Section 3942, compiled the face of suspect B. He saw 3 unknown males in the vicinity of the gas station, busy on the cell phones. He saw them again at Kelly's mom's house. Suspect B stood at the gate. He gave the following description. African male, 25 years, 1.80 meter tall, slender build, medium brown complexion, clothing a black hooded top. Witness saw a golden insert in upper teeth. Hairstyle is dreadlocks. Facial hair is mustache and beard. And then witness saw something in his hand that could have been a firearm. Witness could not describe the rest of the faces.
Yes, my lord.
Lana ke kufundeka ngalendlela kwi-statement esakhe ke Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp ukuthi ke owesihlanu ufakazi uMr T Makeleni ohlala ke eNomzamo e3942 wachaza ke umsolwa B ukuthi ke wabona ke abalisa abathathu angabazi la kune ndawo ka gas noma phecelezi ke i-gas station busy ke komakhala ekhukhwini babo waphinda wababona futhi ke endlini kaMakakheli ususpect B wayemi ke egateini wamchaza ngalendlela ukuthi umuntu wesilisa omnyama oneminyaka u25 1.80 meter ubamudeke enomzimba omncane futhi ke medium brown la i-complexion yakhe noma ke indlela akabukeka ngayo awayegqokile ihoodie eyayimnyama ngombala wabona futhi ke ukuthi izinyoke la ngaphezulu wayenegolide i-hairstyle wamchaza ke ama-dreadlocks wachaza i-mustache futhi ke wabona ke khona ke lokho akubona ke esandleni okwabukeka ngathi kuyisibhamu.
Now this paragraph and description ties in with what I asked you earlier when we were looking at Exhibit BB, the person or the sketch on the left with a hoodie, and I asked you to point at the left and the right side of the face to ask whether that was also the insertion of dreadlocks on that sketch ID kit. Remember? I
do remember, my lord.
Lokhu ke manje okubhalwe lana ke kuyahambisana ke naloko ebengikutshengisa kona ke lana kulo lesithombe ebesiveziwe ke khona la ikutshengisa emaceleni ke ngithi lokho kubukeka engathi ama dreadlocks. Yebo ngiyakhumbula.
Now regarding and take this fact, Makaleni is the only person that gave the description of suspect B or the second so-called intruder, right? At warrant officer Steenkamp's ID kit compilation. I'm not speaking about any other statement. I mean, when this ID kit was compiled, Makaleni is the only person that gave the description of suspect B.
My lord, if I can just have a second, I just want to check something, a second or two.
I can quickly assist you. The first witness is Ms. Kelly Khumalo. If you look at the last two sentences, she says, Ms. Steenkamp, Kelly Khumalo could not describe the second suspect. Do you see that?
Yes, I do see that, my lord. That's exactly where I wanted to go in terms of describing or could not give the profile. But as I said, you take this in relation to the statements as well, because in the statements, as much as they are not giving marks in terms of the ID kit that was compiled by warrant officer Steenkamp, but they do indicate more or less how the second intruder was. But insofar as the compilation by Warrant Officer Steenkamp, yes, we're in agreement. They didn't say it. But insofar as their statements are concerned, they do give an indication as to how the second suspect was looking like and what he may be carrying around.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi la masibheka ke ufakazi oqala uSteenkamp akhuluma ngayo uyakubhalile ke la uKelly ke akakwazanga ukuthi kamchazeke owesibili umsola kuyiqiniso lokho kodwa ke ukuthi uma ubheka ama statements abo ke yila kunala abashoyo ke khona ke futhi bamchaza khona ke ukuthi umsolo wesibili waye kanjani nokuthi wayephetheni ke kodwa lana ku statement esika Steenkamp abamchazi.
And the end of each sentence, my lord, by Warrant Officer Steenkamp, just to be more precise. For example, with the second person, or maybe let's start with Kelly. She ends by saying she could compile the fake. Okay, no, let me leave. It's not a question. The second one, my lord, by Zandi, she says she could not describe the second suspect.
Okay.
And then the other one, which is Tumelo Madala, the last sentence, he could not compile the second suspect.
Okay.
Now, the third one by Mr. Twala says he could not describe the second suspect. And then Makaleni obviously then does, my lord. So that's what is contained. But the essence, there was a suspect, a second suspect. But she as an expert, she was looking for marks that she could get from them in order to compile an identikit. So she's saying they could not, that's my understanding of it, they could not give her tools or information that will allow it to compile, not the non-existence of the second suspect. That's why the referral is very clear that they could not give information insofar as the second suspect. So there was a second suspect and she wanted to get the features of the second suspect. The only person who could do that, I think accurately for her, was Mr. Makaleni, my lord.
Uma ubuka ke lana kuzo zonke ke lezitatimende ke zabo ukuthi ke uKelly akamchazanga uZandileke naye akamchazanga lo wesibili umsolo uTumelo uThwala umuntu ke ekuphela kwakhe ke noma ke okuyena ke owamchaza ke uyena ke Mr. T Makeleni lana ke okukhulunywa yiloko ukuthi yebo wayekhona ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi njena abamnikanga ke lokho awayekufuna ke noma okwanele ukuthi ke adwebeke asho ukuthi lo muntu lona wayebukeka kanjani.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the importance of this, and I'm going to emphasize, for the purposes of compilation of the ID kit, which is meant to assist the investigation with regard to putting out there in the public an image or a sketch of the potential people that entered into the house on the 26th of October 2014. The people that were in the house could not identify unique features to Ms. Steenkamp so that she can compile also the sketch of the second suspect.
Well, according to Mrs. Warrant Officer Steenkamp, that's what they say. But as I say, my lord, if you look at the statement disposed by them, they try to give features of how the second suspect was like. But insofar as Warrant Officer Steenkamp, yes, it is clear that she's saying they didn't give the description marks.
Yebo ngokwakhe ke noma ngokusho kwakhe ke Warrant Officer Steenkamp ukuthi ke abamnikanga ke lawo ma marks kodwa mubheka istatement zabo kunalabo ashoyo ke khona ukuthi wayebukeka kanjani.
But importantly, Makaleni adds two features that the people in the house never referred to. The first one being a golden insert on the tooth and the dreadlocks hairstyle for the second suspect.
Yes, I saw that, my lord.
Kodwa ke manje uMakeleni usefaka ke manje ke okubili ke ongashiwongo yilabo ababesendlini izinyo ke legolide emlonyeni kanye futhi ke nama dreadlocks yebo ngikubonile lokho.
And as a passerby, Makaleni manages to see a golden insert from suspect B when he's outside of the house.
That's what is contained in his statement, my lord. Yes.
And then, as a result, you, as the lead IO, when I say you, I mean as the lead IO, you follow up on the descriptor that is given by Makaleni. Is that correct?
No, I followed on the resemblance. That is why,
Yes.
my lord, I said when I confronted accused 2, I said the identikit that I see, in my view, that person looks like him. So it wasn't insofar as following what Mr. Makaleni, it was based on my observation, my lord.
Mina ke ngangingalandeli ke manje lokhu okushiwo noma okwakhulunywa uyena ke uMr Makeleni, kodwa ke ngathi mangibuka yona ke ID kit ingakho ke ngathi mangiya kuyena umsolo wesibili ngathi ke umuntu lo yana ke odokotela lapha yana ke ufana nawe, hayi okwashiwo uMr Makeleni.
My lord, the court will also remember that there was a time when we dealt with a dental examination.
I'm
of
coming to
accused.
that, Brigadier. Let me
Must I
lead you.
wait? Okay. all
Let
right.
me lead you, Brigadier.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You had ample opportunity to be led by my learned colleague, Advocate Baloyi. At this stage, it cannot be that the tail is wagging the dog. The dog must wag the tail. So you take my lead.
No, I don't think that's accurate, my lord. We are here to assist the court.
No,
and-
let me do my cross-examination. If I need you to elaborate on a point, because you go off a tangent, I forget what I was asking you, and you give so many explanations. Let us stick to my cross-examination. If you want to elaborate, ask me. The court has already said it's not going to block anyone from explaining to this court. But just ask me, because you tend to go off tangent, and I'm cross-examining. Some of the things escape me because of your lengthy explanations.
My lord, I'll try to follow what Mr. Ramsipil is saying, but the court needs to take note that what I was trying to elaborate
that.
on
That's what I
was emanating from the question that was asked to me about the description given by Mr. Makaleni, which Mr. Ramsipile indicated that I followed that to the T. So Mr. Makaleni, my lord, one of the things that he mentions there is that the second suspect has a gold teeth incision on the upper lip. So my response was it was not coming from anywhere. There's a description given which says the second person has a gold incision on the upper part of his teeth. So naturally I was going to the explanation of saying, what did I do to follow this explanation given by Mr. Makaleni? That was the question that was put to me, my lord. But I hear you.
Yes.
I'll try to be short where I can, but where I need to explain, my lord, Mr. Ramsipilo must also bear with me, because I'll give answers insofar as the questions that are put to me, nothing more.
Ngiphendula ke ngokwemibuzo ke engiyibuzwayo ke ngizozama ukuthi kube mfushane, kodwa ke uma kufanele ngichaze ngizochaza ke, ngoba umbuzo ke noma la engisengichaza khona ke mayelana ke nezinyo ke kumayelana nombuzo ke obuziwe ke kimina ke ukuthi ke okunye akubona uMr Makeleni wabona ukuthi wakunezinyo legolide la ngaphezulu, ila esengiqala khona ukuthi ngichaze.
Perhaps
Yes, sir.
to contextualize this, accused number 2 instructs me, and he has already told this court, he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 by both Sergeants Mohane and Mabena. You are aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware, my lord.
Umsholo wesibili uyangitshela ke ukuthi uma eboshwa ke waboshwa ke ngazo i-16 zika June, eboshwa uyena 2020 uyena uMukhane noMabhena. Yebo, ngiyakwazi lokho.
And my lord, sorry, when I say I'm aware, I'm referring to the arrest insofar as the Nongoma case, not for this matter, just to be clear that our understanding is not misunderstood.
Futhi uma ngithi ke ngiyazi ke ngisho noma ngikhuluma ukuthi ke ngiyazi ukuthi ke uma eboshelwa icala labanongoma engaboshelwa lona, ngifuna nje ukuthi lokho ke kuqala.
And then on the 17th, he was taken to the Pretoria North South African Police Services on the 16th. And on the 17th of June 2020, accused number 2 is then booked out of from his cell by Sergeant Mohane Mabena. They take him to the boardroom and instructs me as follows as to what transpired in that boardroom. He is asked why he cut off his dreadlocks. He is asked about the presence or absence of the golden tooth that he had. He is further asked about tattoos that he had.
My lord, I was not there, so I think it will be difficult for me to respond to that.
I'm coming exactly to that.
Uthi manje ke uma
Sorry, Mr. Jonas.
Sir, uma esethathwa ke noma ke ekhishwa ngazo i-17 ka June 2020 wakhishwa ke wasuka ke kuyona i-boardroom wabuzwa ukuthi kungani ke esewasusileke noma bakundileke ama-dreadlocks kungani futhi ke izinyo ke leli legolide sewukhiphile ngangingekho ke mina lapho kuzoba nzima ke ukuthi ngingaphendula ngalokho.
Now, accused instructs me, the persons that were in that boardroom were the following. It was yourself, it was Sergeants Mabena and Mohane, it was Sergeant Mohola, and there was a gentleman who was wearing braces, the pants braces, and that on that day, over and above the 3 items that I've said he was questioned about, he was also made to take his tops off to look whether he's got tattoos. And do you know who says that? He says the person that was doing that interrogation was. It was you.
No, but my lord, that's not true. And I think I dealt with this aspect during the trial within trial. That I did not see accused 2 on the 17th. The only time I came across him was on the 18th when I interviewed him, and subsequently we followed the alibi that says he was at work. There is no way, my lord, I would have met him on the 16th and don't document my interaction, because the purpose of me meeting him was in relation to this matter, nothing more. So if I had met him, even if to even throw a wider blanket, my lord, even if I had an opportunity to meet him on the 16th, the first opportunity when I come across him, I would have asked him about this matter based on the evidence that I have. So there is no way I would have met him on the 17th, ask him about this matter, and not make a follow-up and don't document it. It's not true. That's why I indicated, my lord, what he told me, honest and openly, in terms of my interaction with him leading to the confessions.
Uyawabala-ke abantu athi babekhona ke kuleyo boardroom leyo, uyakubala-ke nawe uMukhula, uSergeant Mohane kanye ke noMabhena nomunye ke umlisa amshoyo-ke nokuthi ke wase etshelwa ukuthi akakhululeke la ngaphezulu noma ke itop kubhekwa ke futhi ama-tattoo nokuthi futhi umuntu oyenza lokho ke kwakuwena. Akusilona ke iqiniso lelo. Mina ke uma ngihlangana naye ihlandla loqala kwakungazo i-18 zika June 2020, bangeke ke kwenzeka ukuthi ngihlangane naye nge-16 noma nge-17 bese ngingabhali phansi ke ukuhlangana kwami noma lokho engakhuluma naye, ngoba ke mina ke uma ngangizombuza ngalo leli cala leli ngibe sengibhala phansi.
Interestingly, I like that your answer there. You said, had you met him on the 16th, the first opportunity that you were going to ask him was to ask him about 63610 of 2014. Why not ask him about 16310 2018, the Nawalba case? Because that was the case for which he was arrested, according to your testimony.
Yes, that's exactly what I said, my lord. But I think maybe Mr. Ramsipil, in fairness to him, he may have forgotten what I said last year when we started. I said, my lord, when the names of accused 1 and 2 were brought to our attention, cold case analysis was done. Subsequent to the cold case analysis, cases were identified that are seemingly affecting accused 1, and cases linking allegations that these cases are linking accused 2. Those matters were assigned to Sergeant Mohane to investigate. The bigger scope of case that I was looking at is this matter 636. So I assigned unrelated matters to this matter to Sergeant Mohane insofar as Mr. Ramsipele's client is concerned. My concern or interaction with accused 2 was this matter. So that is why I'm saying if I had come across him, be it the 16th, the 17th, any opportunity that I had, it would have been this matter, because that's the site, that was my interest, my lord. The cold case analysis was done based on this matter that is before court, insofar as accused 1 and 2 is concerned.
Ngiyathanda ke uma sophendula kanjalo ke nanjengoba usho ke ukuthi uma kuwukuthi wawuhlangene naye ngazo i-16 noma i-17 wawuzombuza ke noma ithuba nje lokuqala utholayo wawuzombuza ke ngalo icala leli u-636, okunganiki ukuthi ungambuzi ngalo icala leli labanongoma ngoba yilona aliboshelwa. Mhlambe ke uMr. Ramsipile ukhohliwe ke ngishilo ke ngiyakondlule ukuthi ke kwabhekwa ke uma ebhekwa ke noma ke i-analysis yama cold case yenziwa ke uSergeant Mukhane uyena ke umuntu owayebhekene nalawo macala lawo engasilona ke leli mina ke icala engangilibhekile noma ke engangizokhuluma ngalo kwakuyilona leli u636.
And my lord, I can just add, I know, I don't mean to take long, Mr. Ramsipile, sorry, but I think it's important for you to take note. This was not a unique thing that was done in accused number 2, my lord. When I met accused 1, because he's the first person that was arrested for the drug dealing case, when he was brought to me in Fosoras, I also didn't question him about the drug-related offenses. I jumped straight to this matter because that matter, insofar as the ones that were unrelated, Sergeant Mukhula was the IO. I went straight to this case that is before court, which was the same thing that I did when I came across accused 2.
Sona ke inhloso yami ukuthi ke ngenze noma ke ngikhulume ke okude ke kodwa ngifuna nje ukuthi ngichaze ke lokho ukuthi ke nangu njengoba ke umsolo wokuqala kuyena umuntu wokuqala owaboshwa ungathi ke elethwa kumina ke noma ke ngihlangana naye ke eFostoras angimbuzanga ke ngoba wayeboshelwe icala leli elaphathelene nazo izidakamizwa angimbuzanga ngalo ngambuza ngaleli cala ngoba lelo lezidakamizwa lona ke owayelisesha noma ke waliphenya lelo cala kwakuyena uSergeant Mukhula.
Now, warrant officer, sorry, not warrant officer, is a Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, testified here. And when crossed by my learned colleague, Mr. Mgomezulu, on this aspect, your presence when measurements were taken on accused 1 and on accused 2. Warrant officer Mangena, in respect to accused 2, at first, and I must be understood because somebody jumps up. At first, he said, you were present. Then after break, he came back and says, no, you were not present on the 17th when the measurements were taken by from accused number 2.
My lord, I was not present, and I was not here when Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified, so it's a difficulty in assisting, except to say I was not present on the 17th.
Nkathi ke thulubufakazi bakhe ke Lieutenant Colonel Mangena washo ke ukuthi wawukhona ke nkathi ke wayokala yena ke umsola wesibili kodwa uma sesiphinde sibuya ke wakulungisa ke lokwathi cha wawungekho yebo ke ngangingekho futhi ke ngoba nzima ke ngoba ke ngangingekho uma ethula ubufakazi bakhe ke uKolonel Mangena kodwa ngiyazo i17 ngangingekho lapho.
And he also put this rider to say whenever I do my work, and he was referring to the taking of measurements from the respective accused persons. He says whenever I'm doing my work, I'm in the presence of the investigating officer, but I'm putting it. That was after he now turned to say, you were not present.
My lord, like I said, it will be difficult really to comment on what Lieutenant Colonel Mangena said. What I can tell the court is that I was not there. And like without repeating myself, if I was, I would have documented my interactions with accused 2, my lord, because that was my interest. There was no way I was going to meet him and I questioned him about this matter and I do nothing. And then I shift it to the following day. It doesn't make sense to me for what purpose, my lord, because my understanding of what transpired on the 17th, nothing is significant really. The rollout that led to the confession started, even the following of the alibi started really happening on the 18th when I was present. So I was not there, my lord.
Nanjoba ebeshilo ke kubufakazi bakhe uLieutenant Colonel Mangena ukuthi ngaso sonke isikhathi mangenza ke umsebenzi wami ke okuyena owumseshi noma ke ophenye icala uba khona kodwa ke wakulungisa ke lokwathi cha wongekho yebo ke uma kuukuthi ngangikhona ke lapho ngangeke ngiveske nje ngidluliseke lokho ngangizobhala phansi noma ke ngangizobhala ke lokho ngikhulume naye ke uqala ke ukuthi ke ngihlangane naye kwakungiye ngazo i18 ngikona ke lokho okwaholela ke kuyona i-confession le eyathathwa.
I may add, my lord, that Sergeant Mukhane was there. I know that on the 17th he was there and he's part of the investigation team.
Engakusho ukuthi uSergeant Mukhane wayekhona ke lapho ngazo i17 futhi ke uyingxenye yeteam belihola eliphenyayo.
Now we were at exhibit J, the descriptor of the dreadlocks hairstyle and the golden insert on the tooth of suspect B, and I asked you whether you followed that up.
Yes, I did. That's the
Yes.
part I wanted to go to,
Yes.
my lord, when you said I'm saying on your
And then accused 2 on the 22nd of January, 22nd of June 2020, he was now appearing in the Tlhabane Magistrates Court for an unrelated matter, and after that he was taken to Dr. Tlhoko, right?
That is correct, my lord.
Manje-ke ngazo i-22 June 2020 ila khona-ke ayobingelela imantshi khona-ke eTlhabane umsola wesibili kwase kuthi-ke emuva kwalokho wayohlangana-ke naye udokotela Tlhabane
Dr. Tlhokwe.
Tlhoko, sorry.
Yes, I said that's correct, my lord.
Shilo ukuthi lokho kuyiqiniso futhi uma ibingelela-ke imantshi lapho kwakuyicala-ke langahlangene naleli.
And in essence, what was the purpose of taking accused number 2 to Dr. Tlhokwe for an orthodontist examination?
It was precisely what I was trying to get to earlier, my lord. That second suspect was described as having a gold teeth incision, and I wanted to check if indeed that is the position or not.
Inhloso-ke noma imbangela-ke yokuthi-ke asiwe kena-ke noma ahanjiswe kuyena udokotela uXhokwe nanjengoba kwabeshilo-ke abantu mabechaza ukuthi wesibini-ke umsolwa wayenaleli zinyo-ke legolide kwakuwukubheka-ke lokho noma ukuqinisekisa lokho.
But it was also because, my lord, in my observation on the upper teeth or some of the teeth.
My lord, I beg leave to approach accused number 2.
What's wrong?
He was raising his hand, my lord.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my lord. That's it. And what was the result of Dr. Tlhokwe's examination of
The-
accused number 2?
My recollection, my lord, they could not find that he had a gold teeth incision which was removed, because in my observation as well, when I was talking to him, my lord, there's a gap on his teeth. I'm saying it with greatest respect, not an insult. So I suspected that perhaps something was there and removed. But the medical report, without quoting it word for word, I do know that the doctor could not find evidence that says he once had an incision or artificial or something that was removed at a later stage.
Umbiko-ke wabuya-ke uthi cha akukho-ke okutholakalayo noma akutholayo udokotela uHlokwe ukuthi-ke yakhishwa noma khona-ke izinyo ukuthi elakhishwa ngoba-ke uma ngangikhuluma naye-ke mina-ke ngaqaphela-ke ukuthi-ke ngikusho lokho ngayo yonke-ke inhlonipho ukuthi kwakunesikhala-ke esikhona lokho kwangenza-ke ukuthi ngisole ukuthi mhlampe-ke kwakukhona kwase kukhishwa.
Okay. I now want to proceed to because we are busy with descriptions and identification by various witnesses of the persons that they saw that night. I want to go to the evidence of Nthabise Mokete. Do you recall who that witness is?
I know that, well, I was not in court when she testified, my lord, but I know that she's one of the ladies that was sitting opposite the crime scene with a friend. I know who she is based on the statement she made.
Ngokwaso-ke i-statement noma ngokubuka-ke i-statement ngiyazi-ke ukuthi-ke ubani noma omunye-ke walabo-ke ababehlezi-ke ngale kwendawo yesigameko yena uNthabise Mokete.
And her testimony, I'm going to sum it up. She testified that she was in a vehicle outside Maggie Perry's house and diagonally opposite the Khumalo household. she was with a friend, Yolanda Nota, and she was seated directly behind the driver's seat where Yolanda Nota sat with her infant child. Right?
Yes, I'm listening, my lord.
Now, as they were sitting and chatting, they heard what sounded like a gunshot.
Yes, my lord.
And they are seated there wondering and debating whether it's a gunshot, this one saying the other. She sees a tall person running past the car. She does not know where that person was running from. Right?
Yes, my lord.
Then she heard the second shot, and at that stage again, she saw two people running towards the same direction that the first person had run, and the direction which she described was they ran towards the park, in the direction of the park.
Yes, my lord, I'm listening.
And now they're saying, we are going to die in this car. We're hearing something that sounds like gunshots and we're sitting here, let's get out. As they are preparing to get out, they hear a third shot, and they are now exiting the car after the third shot. She hears Zandile Khumalo screaming her name and screaming that Ntabi saying, call the ambulance, Senzo has been shot.
I'm listening, my lord.
And they then, together with Zandile, go inside the Mapiri house. And everybody now is frantic. Zandile is saying to Mapiri, phone the ambulance, they can't phone. But the essence thereof is that Zandile lives without an ambulance or emergency services being called.
Yes, I'm listening.
Now we fast forward, and I just want to go to the part where she describes the three gentlemen that she saw passing. And that will be found on the transcripts of the 26th of July 2023 at page 38. And she described the two men as follows: the one that passed after the second shot. One wasn't big in terms of physique and of average height with dreadlocks. The other was slightly bigger in physique. And then at page 48, line 18, she states, the very one with the bigger physique had a hoodie on his head and with a hat, as well as he was taller than the two that I had already referred to.
I'm listening, my lord.
Yes, that's the first descriptors of the people that she saw. The first one was tall, the one that ran first. She just described tall, dreadlocks running towards the park. My lord, let me pause here and just perhaps address the court. Earlier on during the trial, and I think Mr. Advocate Baloyi can back me up on this one, the court had asked for orientation purposes whether the photographs of the park were available. I've gone, my lord, and dug onto my disclosure, and indeed I have found the photographs. I think it's a scenic overview of the park, Zamo section, the house, the lashes, and that evidence. And I mean, the album has been compiled by a Sergeant Triple B Mulumbi, I think. So I'm not sure whether we are going to introduce that evidence and how we're going to introduce it for orientation purposes to see when people said they turned left and ran towards the park and relative to the precinct and the streets around, what are we referring to for contextual purposes now? So I'll
You're asking Mr. Balawi, what your colleague wants to know about that evidence, whether it's
Well, the photo album is in the other docket, the 375, one of 2019.
375.
Yes,
What does it got to do with that other docket?
as far as I'm aware.
Because there was no mention
Yes,
of this thing.
yes, that's. It's really up to my Leonard friend how and how he wants to use the the photos.
Are they
But we are
in another docket? In
yes,
other words,
they're in the.
they are not part of this docket.
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, man, I didn't even know where they emanated from in terms of because I only have got the album, it doesn't say which case
Yeah, fine.
number
So
that
this
is.
sergeant, where is he? Where does he live? Who took the photos, in other words?
It's Warrant Officer Mulumbi, I think,
Where is he?
of the Springs LCRC.
Are you going to call him as a witness? Hello?
No, madam, I don't think so. I was just bringing it up because the court had previously
Yeah, I did
about
ask.
them and it's never
Yeah.
resolved, madam.
Are you going to admit this evidence, Mr. Baloui?
Well, we for our purpose, my lord, we never deem it necessary to, to go that route. If my learned friend wants to canvass that, it's really up to him.
No, let's
But
leave it.
the
What's the
photos
law?
are-
What does the law say?
Yeah.
Because I'm told there are two dockets.
Yes.
And in these two dockets, seemingly, the charges are worlds apart.
Yes.
These gentlemen are charged with murder, attempted murder, robbery, possession of unlicensed firearm, ammunition, etc., etc. That other docket, people are charged with defeating the ends of justice, etc. I think you must address me on that.
Yes.
You don't think so? If you're not prepared, fine.
Yeah.
But here are people following two different avenues. And the fact is, these gentlemen here are not charged with the contents of the docket Mr. Ramosipili wants to introduce into the evidence. Is that not so, sir?
That's correct, madam.
But I'm not stopping anybody. If you want to go and do some research about this point, you can do so and address me tomorrow. Or if you don't want to do that research, I will decide what to do with the evidence.
No, but the fact of the matter is the evidence in that docket were taken from a certain perspective to achieve a certain goal. Hence, my lord, we didn't even think of using those photos because, as we mentioned, they were taken with a certain goal in mind and to achieve a certain purpose.
Okay, I hear you. So what do you gentlemen want to do?
Well, if my learned friend wants to use them, he must just follow the normal rules of evidence. It's as simple as that.
Yes, sir.
My Lord, can I just stand in the photo album that Mr. Ramsipile wants to refer to, my Lord, forms part of the documents that have been disclosed by the state to the defense.
That has been?
Disclosed or furnished by the state to the defense.
But this is not what Mr. Baloui is saying. So you say the state was going to use it in this case, that photo album.
As the court pleases, my Lord, because it was furnished to the defense.
Was it discovered? Wait, was it discovered in respect of case number 675/10/2014?
No, not in respect of this case. It's already on record, my lord, that there was a court order that docket 375 of 2019 be disclosed to the defense.
Yeah.
And that was when the contents of that docket were then disclosed to the defense.
And it was in the previous trial.
Yes, in the previous trial.
Yeah, I thought you guys said we must start de novo.
Yes.
He says it was in the previous trial before my brother Maumakwe.
My lord, yes, it was ordered in the previous trial. However, in this trial, my lord, it still forms part of.
Was it discovered in this trial?
Yes, my lord.
Is that so, sir?
Well, the fact of the matter is there was no rediscovery. All the statements that were discovered in the first trial were simply used again in the first trial. But the fact of the matter is when the defense requested disclosure of the docket, they were given 63610 of 2014. Then the trial commenced before Judge Maumela, and an order was then made that the contents of the second docket 375/1 of 2019 be discovered to the defense, and that's when the contents of the dockets were then disclosed at that point. So there were two separate discoveries, if one can put it that way.
Okay, is this gentleman still around, Mr. Ramsabit?
I haven't verified that.
Which police station is it attached to?
I think it's LCRC Springs as well.
What's LCRC?
Local Criminal Records Center. the
Wait.
photographers and all of the people that-
Demiston. Wait,
Springs, madam.
Springs.
Yes.
So why don't you phone and find out? Or you must call him and ask him if he's prepared to come to court. Or I can make an order that he must come if he's still alive. Because you want to introduce evidence which is not tested.
Yes, that's my concern, madam.
Unless the state was saying, aye. So what do you want to do, sir?
My lord, I see it's approaching 3 o'clock. May I resume tomorrow because I was also affected by this cold front coming upstairs.
How big is the album?
It is less than 30 pages, my lord.
Less than 30.
Yeah, it's
How do you talk, sir? Are they 100?
They're not 100.
Less than 30.
They are less than 20.
Okay. Less than 20.
Yes,
Those photos.
yes.
So you say you'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Why don't you do it together?
Yes, I'll speak to to Advocate Baloyi, my lord.
Yeah.
That's how we go about it.
My lord, excuse me, can I just respond to what Mr. Ramsey, because the last part
Yeah.
I just said I understood, but I never responded to that, the description of Ntabi Singh. I was just listening.
yes.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
okay,
finalize
fine.
that.
Oh, I
yes.
hear you.
Yes, so we left it hanging.
So we can, yeah.
So that we can close it nicely.
Close that one and then, yeah. Okay, fine.
Yes. My lord, what I can say about the description given by Ntabi Singh, it is corroborated in the confession of Mr. Ramsey Palestine's statement. Accused 2, in his own confession, says after the first shot was fired, he ran away. This is what the lady outside is saying, that he first saw the first person running away, a tall person. It is corroborated in that confession of Mr. Accused 2.
Kuloku-ke okuchazwe uyena-ke uMr. Ramsipile ekhuluma ngokuthi-ke uNthabiseng wabonani, nanjengoba ebesho-ke uNthabiseng ukuthi babehlezi ngaphandle-ke emotweni kwaqhuma isibhamu, wabona umuntu omude-ke ephuma-ke, kwasho saqhuma futhi-ke isibhamu-ke, waphinda wabona ababili-ke. Lokho-ke nje okushiwo uyena uNthabiseng yilokho futhi uma ufunda-ke istatimende sokugonyuluka sakhe umsolo wesibini asho ukuthi uma ngabe isibhamu siqhuma kokuqala waphuma yena wagijima. Lokho-ke kuyahlangana naloku okhulunywa uyena uNthabiseng.
My lord, I recall that in his confession he further indicates that as he was running out, accused 4, because accused 3 was in the house, according to the confession, it's alleged, I'm referring to the confession, not his verbatim, that the third accused was still inside the house. Then as he was running out, accused 4 ran in. So in other words, they were now still 2, but he ran out.
Uyaqhubeka ke manje ngikhuluma ke into ekusonaka istatement sakhe sogunyuluka umsolo wesibili ngoba ke uma isibhamu siqhuma yena ke eseqhuma ebaleka umsolo wesibili usasele ke ngaphakathi umsolo wesithathu wase umsolo wesine ke engena ngaphakathi endlini.
And that will be a collaboration, my lord. That obviously there was the first one that ran away, and then the two would have followed afterwards, my lord.
Lokho ke manje kuyahlangana ke ukuthi ke kuno oqala ke ophumile egijima kwase kulandela ababili.
Yes, my lord. And the issue of the dreadlocks, I think is self-explaining. Mr. Ramsipile did mention that one of the suspects, and that person with the suspect was seen on the second grouping. The second, in other words, the two suspects. One of them was having dreadlocks, and according to the confession of accused 2 is that he left the second suspect, which is alleged to be accused 3, with the dreadlocks. And I'm saying alleged, my lord, as per the statement, with dreadlocks in the house, and that person was seen with the second person running after the first suspect was seen. So there's a collaboration there, my lord.
Phinde futhi ke kuhlanganeke ukuthi manje ke uma eqhubeka ke esho ke yena ke umthapisi kulona ukuthi manje uma sebona ababili ke kukhona ke onama dreadlocks lokho ke futhi kuhlanganiseke naso istatement sogonyuluka sakhe umsolo wesibili ke uyasho ukuthi wena waphuma ke wabaleka ushiya ke ngasemuva ke umsolo onama dreadlocks lo umsolo wakhe ezinsolo ezithi ke uyena ke umsolo wesithathu kuyahlangana ke nalokho ukuthi manje uma sekuphuma ke manje kubaleka kuphuma ababili omunye wabo unama dreadlocks.
Yes, my lord, that's what I wanted to respond to, Mr. Ramsipile.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is my parting shot before we take a break. I had earlier on said to you, Brigadier, relax, let me lead you, let the dog wag the tail, not the other way around. Because I'm still going, the purpose why I'm standing here, and I'm going structurally like this. I'm going to exhibit HH and JJ. I told you at the beginning. We are going to analyze those confessional statements to see whether there are markers of reliability or unreliability based on the totality of evidence.
Yeah, my lord, maybe for the sake of smooth running, when I touch base on something, Mr. Ramsipile can just indicate that I will get there. Then we'll understand each other, because I will not know when you ask a question whether you'll still visit that place or you've parked it. Like in this instance, we nearly adjourned without me responding. So that is the essence of it. So we can find a mechanism to work together. So you simply have to indicate, because like I said, my lord, my responses, as length as they may seem, they are based on the questions that you're putting to me. You put a question and I need to answer it in its fullest context to assist the court, because we are here to assist the court. That is the purpose. But if you feel perhaps I'm ahead of where you're going, thirdly, you can just indicate, you say we'll get a break and I'll give you that space.
So tomorrow,
Ngokuwena ke ukuthi ungitsheleke ukuthi uma ngabe ngiphendula ke ngiphendula into osezoyibuza ukuthi ungimiseke, ngoba uma ngiphendula noma kubukeka ungathi ke impendulo enginikeza ngazo zindeke, kodwa ngiphendula ngokombuzo lowo engubuzwayo.
yes, then we'll resume tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Jonas. My lord, may we then take an adjournment until tomorrow?
Okay, fine.
Is the court proceeding?
So are you going to address me, or are you going to just make an agreement between yourselves? Because I also want to prepare. I'm not the type of judge
Yes.
who comes to court blank.
Can you just get clarity on which
Ah,
aspect does the court want us to?
whether the evidence which Mr. Ramsipili wants to introduce into this case is admissible. Unless, I know if you say you don't care, you don't object, it's admissible, because it means it's not disputed. Are you with me?
Yes, my lord. Mr. Ramsipile has just mentioned that we will try and see if we can't reach common ground. We'll just maybe give an indication to the court as to whether we did reach common ground or not.
That's all.
And then as to whether there's a need to prepare heads.
Okay, fine, fine.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Are you available, sir, tomorrow?
Yes, I am available, my lord.
Half a day. Oh,
The
still
whole
day.
day, my lord. No, the whole day I'm available.
Okay. Then let's meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Isake icala kuze kusasa ngo-10.